This episode is brought to you by...
Hey, Billy Bonham here, owner of Pizza Classics, located in downtown Kyle. We've been serving our community since the 90s and proudly support local Hayes athletics. At Pizza Classics, we do things the old school hard way because I think it makes a better product for our customers. Dough is made fresh daily and veggies are always hand cut. We shed our 100% whole milk mozzarella in-house, as well as make our own sauce from scratch. Lastly, we bake on stone. Doing it the right way takes some extra time, but we let our product do the talking. Thanks for your business. I truly appreciate it.
Entertaining shows with content that spreads information and sparks discourse throughout the community. This is the Pearl Media Network.
Welcome to the Kyle Life Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to showcasing what makes Kyle, Texas unique. We interview local business owners, politicians, and talk with everyday residents to further promote our beautiful city. This podcast is brought to you by KyleLife.com and is proudly part of the Pearl Media Network. We thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Hey guys, Joshua here with Kyle Life, and today we're recording live from the Pearl Media Network studios located in West Kyle. Joining me for this episode is a good friend of the show and a longtime supporter of the KyleLife.com, Will Caldwell, who is the program director at Dojo Kyle Jiu Jitsu, a premier martial arts studio located in downtown Kyle. Will, thanks for doing this, man.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
And I asked you last minute. I had a guest that was there to come do the live show, and I won't throw them under the bus, but you stepped up to the plate. We are live. It's podcast day for those who don't know. And I appreciate you coming in the studio and doing this.
And what is Podcast Day,
So
Josh?
Podcast Day is an international celebration set up by, I know, Daniel J. Lewis. Which one's the celebrity? Daniel Day Lewis, right? It's not the celebrity. A different Daniel Lewis from the Audacity of the Podcast and some other people, sorry, I'm forgetting y'all's names, set this day up as a means of like evangelizing, I guess, the whole art of podcasting and getting the word out about how for content creators, trying to help people connect with shows that they like, connect with programs that would be relevant to them and so forth. You consume a lot of podcasts yourself, don't you?
I do. I'm doing a little less podcasting. I'm more onto audiobooks, but Dan Carlin, Hardcore History.
Yes.
Oh man, I love it. And I was just hanging out with my dad today listening to one on Rome. I don't know the name of it.
I forget the name. I know what series you're talking about.
It was incredible. I was thinking, how much time did this guy spend producing it?
Yeah, I know. He talks about, because it takes months, right, between them. And you have to imagine for that 4-hour episode, there's got to be hundreds of hours between prep and pre-production. And you would think, right? But
he has an assistant, right?
I'd hope. I don't know.
I think he talks about someone on the...
I need an assistant. I say that. I don't need an assistant. No, I'm too cheap for an assistant.
You just said no post editing, man.
So I know that. No, we're right. Yeah, I did say that. We are, like I said, we are live with Will from Dojo Kyle. You've been on the show before. If you can, I want to get this started by just a recap. There's a lot of people. We're getting new audience members by the week every time we do a new show. So for those not familiar with you and Dojo Kyle, give a little quick touch on what exactly Dojo Kyle does, who you are to Dojo Kyle, and any other relevant information that you think would be necessary.
Okay, yes, I can do that. Part of the reason why I was happy to step in at the last minute to fill in for whoever couldn't make it is because I just got a Facebook message from a parent saying, not a parent of a student, but just someone with the inquiry saying, "Hey, did you guys close down?" No, we're still here. I think kind of made me feel like, oh man, I got to get my promotional ability a little tighter. Right? I need to go make a little more of an effort. So I'm happy to be here doing the show again. And as far as the school goes, we're still alive. We're still running. We're still growing. I'm happy to say.
That is the unfortunate thing, right? When you move locations, because there's not some button if people don't know about your social media or follow you on social media. And even those who do follow you, no one's guaranteed to get all the information that you're sending out, right?
Yeah, Facebook isn't too keen on giving you the eyeballs now unless you're paying for it.
Right.
So it's, I think, a little harder to be found. And we just moved off the main strip, off Center Street onto Main Street. So we're literally probably 100 yards away from our last location, but it's just a little less visible. So people will be going to what used to be our location is now a bar. So people are going by the bar like, hey, oh,
I want to train, but since I'm here, right? Is that what is happening?
Yeah, then the call like, hey, what's going on? But yeah, we're still here. We're just around the corner at 111 South Main. And
it's super convenient, right? I mean, the location, the good thing is you didn't move across town.
Right.
You didn't, it's not like you're hard to find. Unfortunately, downtown doesn't let you put up large overhead signage for people to be able to see, but you're just, is that considered even a full block that you're away from your last location?
I honestly don't know. Maybe we're on the same block. We're separated by alleyway, but you say
Right.
no large signs. I don't know, man. I'm still planning on the two karate men kicking
Like mimicking
Kicking up in
Milts,
the air.
the cowboy, but having
like
it be
Mills Cowboy, except
and you actually had Milts today for lunch,
I
didn't
did.
you?
It was great.
I'm jealous. I've been in here all day doing podcast day stuff.
Brisket sandwich. I got to go shoot guns, eat barbecue.
Are you training tonight?
I'm not training, unfortunately. I wish I was.
Almost a complete day.
Yeah, a day of manliness, I guess.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, let's talk about the training. I mean, full disclosure, people who have listened for a long time already know I train with you guys. I've been with y'all around 4 years, I believe. Probably one of your standout students. I think that it's safe to say, it's safe to say that I'm an all-star student. But the training, I will chime in when need be, but explain to people like what it is you offer, and why people listening should be interested in learning jiu-jitsu.
Okay. So jiu-jitsu is martial art, grappling-based martial art. So it's more similar to wrestling than to karate or taekwondo. And I think the benefit of the wrestling-based style is that it's going to rely a lot more on positioning and understanding of technique, as opposed to maybe some physical attributes, right? So someone like Josh, who's not, good athlete, but he's not, you're not going to mistake him for Mr. Olympia or Captain America or anything like that.
That is true.
He can come in and learn some techniques where he's going to be able to probably tap out Mr. Olympia. Probably be able to beat up on that guy if he wanted to or needed to.
An untrained Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, untrained. Well, even if he was trained, he might get tired. You might be able to wait him out.
I will say this: there's nothing more terrifying to me as a practitioner than the very muscular person who also is trained in jiu-jitsu. That is a terrifying man or woman to be.
Muscles don't scare me as much. I'm more scared of the cardio connection.
Good point.
If someone doesn't get tired, it's like, I better have a plan for them. But muscles kind of it can help, but it can also hurt, right? Because you need to oxygenate all that muscle. So if you're just big, like I think they say Jay Cutler, that bodybuilder who was huge for a while. I don't know if he still is, but they said he couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without getting winded. I'd wrestle that guy any day of the week over the 145-pound guy who's got the cardio for days.
It's true, and I'm trying to find my way in between the 145 and the what is Cutler weigh? Probably
300,
310 or something. We have the human. Not to go down a rabbit hole, but I don't know if we're meant to have that kind of mass on our body frame, right? Like as humans, I don't think we
you
are.
Could do that without some assistance.
Yeah. With that being said, though, bringing it back to training, you have, because I've seen it with my own eyes, people of all body types. You have people who come in already in great shape. You have people that come in like I did when I started. Remember, I was I weigh like $175 ish right now, but I was almost 220 when I started training with you guys. You have them all over the spectrum, right? And not to just imply, I'll just say it blatantly. Jiu-jitsu will help you lose weight for sure. If you put in your time training, I trained twice a week at that point, but it'll definitely help you if your goals are like weight loss. Do you get a lot of those coming in?
We mainly get adults looking for weight loss and self-defense. So I think that's the perfect blend. I kind of look at it like, all right, you need to exercise, right? We all need to exercise. if I get really good at jogging, what auxiliary benefits are there to me, right? Like, I guess I could jog away could jog 6 miles if I was, I don't know. I don't know when that would come in handy, right?
Never for me, but yeah.
But if I can wrestle, that can potentially get me out of a bind. Hopefully I won't ever be in one. But if I am, it's nice to know that, okay, I'm practicing controlling people, choking people, and, on a regular basis. So it's staying fresh in my mind. And it's just something where it's like, if you're in it for the fitness, yes, you're 100% going to get it. And you're going to get the fringe benefit of the self-defense. If you're in it for the self-defense, then, the benefit's going to be, it's going to help keep you in shape or get you in shape if you're not already.
Yeah, and you had mentioned that for adults, that's who primarily comes in for fitness. And is it the opposite for parents bringing their kids in? Is their primary concern self-defense with their little ones?
For kids, I think it is some self-defense because, bullying is a problem. We are, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you and me, and that was a problem for us when we were kids. It's not, I don't think it's anything that's really different, but I think it's just more publicized now. And so yes, parents bringing their kids in for the self-defense as well as a lot of focus. I teach the younger kids ages 4 to 9, and that's a big part of our class, just learning how to focus. Because if you can learn a Jiu Jitsu technique, if you can lock in, pay attention, dedicate yourself to that, then it's going to carry over when you're at school. It's going to carry over at home. It's going to translate to a lot of other areas of your life. And myself as an adult, I've noticed that same thing. I didn't start training until I was 22, and at 22, I didn't have any motivation or much self-discipline, and I was just kind of floating. I felt like kind of trying to take the easiest route through my whole life, right? Like, I wanted to be a business major in school, but I had to pass. I think it was just pre-cal. I don't even think it was calculus. And I was in it in a summer course, and I wasn't doing hot. And I thought, I'm just going to drop this class and I'll just change my major. So it was like something I really wanted to do, but I didn't achieve it because I just didn't have any dedicate. I wasn't dedicated. I didn't understand that it's just a process, right? Like, it's okay to be bad at first, but then through your work and your effort, work to get good.
Yeah. And what do you think it is about jiu-jitsu that has that addictive quality to it? I know you, as a practitioner, I know you understand what I'm talking about, but that white belt zeal is what I call it, right? Like, people that come in, they get signed up, and you pretty much, I'll see them there every class you have to offer. They are just, soaking everything up, asking questions about these ridiculous YouTube techniques that will never be relevant to them for 10 years. I'm joking of that, of course, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it about jiu-jitsu, do you think, that reels people in on a massive level? I'm not just talking about like, oh, some people get really into it. Like, a good chunk of people who do jiu-jitsu seem to get into it very passionately.
Right. The passion, I think it's I can't speak for everyone. For myself, it's the competitiveness. Like, I think I like to have a competitive outlet, and a martial art is a great place for that, because it's gonna, I'll be in class and challenging a classmate, and it's going to be to both of our benefit, right? Like, we're both going to get better because we're in there competing and trying to get better. For other people, I don't know. Yeah, when people fall down that rabbit hole and they're watching hours of YouTube, hours of DVDs and all that, I don't know. I'm still doing that, so I can't really.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I'm not knocking it. I just always wonder, because jiu-jitsu is kind of a phenomenon in the world of martial arts. You don't see the kind of zeal for any other martial art. It may be because I'm not friends.
Yeah, we don't know that. We're not in it. We're not in, like, I'm sure there's some karate programs, maybe in some areas we're unfamiliar with, where there could be the zeal. I think that I think the UFC is huge for the for the jiu-jitsu, martial arts in general, but for jiu-jitsu, you see that ground fighting, and to understand, hey, this guy's able to overcome a highly skilled opponent, or use his knowledge of grappling to maybe avoid getting beaten in a match. Maybe not winning the match, but avoid getting beaten.
Mhm.
And you start to think, hey, I could learn that. Maybe we won't all be doing it on the same level as someone who's in the UFC, right? But to me, we're never in competition with someone else. We're always in competition with ourselves and trying to be better than we were yesterday.
I agree. And if you don't mind, I'm going to use that as a segue, because there's this great video clip that's being shared like in our jiu-jitsu community online. You're talking about using jiu-jitsu to overcome a larger opponent, or overcoming this or that. I'll get to the gist of the video so we can cut to it real quick. I'm a father of 2 daughters for sure. I've got a baby on the way. It will probably be a daughter, but right now I know I have 2. And self-defense is just extremely important to me for them, because they're going to face fears and whatnot that I never had to know growing up, or different ways, right? In very different ways. So if you don't mind, there's this video that we have queued up on our YouTube, and let's just, I guess, more or less commentate. One second, let me actually, the audio is messing up. Gonna do is there I am. We're bringing this up, and I'll put you up here as well.
Thank you, Josh.
The beauty of live. Let me put Will up here as well. Boom. Now we're here, and now let's watch this.
Okay. So she just pulled guard, and now it looks like she's trying to go for a shoulder lock, but she's triangle choke. So she's trying to choke that boy with her legs, and then she switched it to an arm lock for the submission. And that's just, the submission is just him saying he gives up. That's another arm lock, it looked like. She's just running through these guys.
She is.
This looks like she's setting up a choke, pulling guard, wrapping up the guillotine. Guillotines, the chokes I like a lot, because no matter how big someone is, if you can get around their neck, man, you can either submit them in a classroom setting, or obviously, if it's outside of class, you can just make them fall asleep. And
this is so. As you as a coach of both boys and girls, I'm going to end it on that one if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
As a coach of boys and girls, what does watching something like that mean to you? I mean, obviously, we don't know that. I'm assuming it was a challenge match, right? Where
that was definitely friendly.
Yeah.
That would be similar to wrestling in a classroom setting, where she's giving them the opportunity to tap out and give up, and then she's letting them go before there's any injury. So to know that she's out there, it's like, man, that's for one, I think inspirational to think, wow, we could have some young students who could get to that level,
right?
And 2, it's just, I just always think about, man, how confident must she be? How good must her parents feel, knowing that when she's out at the mall or something, man, if someone runs up on her, they're going to have their hands full,
And it's fair to say, though,
kids still hang out at the mall.
I don't know. I stopped hanging out at the mall. I didn't have anyone to hang out at the mall with.
That was cool when I was like 15, I guess. I don't know.
Lounge at the mall.
Now they got Amazon.
They're doing Pokemon Go in the park. So whenever they're doing their Pokemon Go and some weirdo comes up, you can feel confident that your kid can defend themselves.
Right.
And I think it's safe to say, and I want to get this out there so people listening know, she wasn't necessarily a prodigy of the art, right? I mean, she was doing fundamental jiu-jitsu right there.
Those were techniques anyone could learn. I don't know. She could be a prodigy. I don't know her name, but obviously she was highly skilled. And but yeah, anyone could learn them, and anyone could get them to that level with enough hard work, right? That's the thing about martial art. It's all about the dedication to your practice and just putting in the effort to see the results. So you don't have to be it's not like basketball where you say,
right,
I can't jump high, I'll never be any good, or I'm not tall. jiu-jitsu accommodates all body types, and it's almost a little more strategy. So more strategy than the physical elements. So, if you can use your brain, use your mind, you're going to be able to figure out a game that works for you and be successful.
There's a nice inside joke at the gym. Believe in your technique.
Believe in your technique. Yeah.
Before I let you go, man, and I do appreciate your time. I know I've kept you here long enough. What are some ways people can keep up with what the school's doing? Whether it's you want to drop social media or if you want to mention the website, whatever you want to say, how are some of the ways people can keep up with Dojo Kyle?
If they want to keep up with the school, I'd recommend probably following our Facebook page, keeping an eye on our website. There's probably not going to be too many updates to the website, but if you're interested in finding out more, getting more information about the school and potentially getting involved, we have a contact form on our page where you can just put in some basic info and we'll send you a few follow-up emails, automated, just with more information about the school. And we can also follow up with you on the phone about coming in for a complimentary first class. Other than that, I don't know. Stop by.
Come stop by. 111 South
hi.
Main Street, right?
Yep, 111 South Main. After lunch at Milt's. Or no, I better throw in Pizza Classics too. I don't want my buddy Billy over there to take it hard on me,
Yeah.
But if you eat that pizza for lunch, you might be a little sluggish. So.
Yeah. And for the adult classes, I know that y'all offer something Monday through Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. for adults, Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. But there's also a lunch class on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 11:30 a.m. And then for kids classes, you'd have to input on that because I'm not familiar with times.
Kids, we train we have 4 classes per week for both age groups. Most kids attend twice a week, unless they're the either competitors or future competitors. And then we expect to see them a little more, making sure that they're staying on top of their techniques. So with the 4-day-a-week schedule, we found that for most parents, it's flexible enough to get them to class at least the 2 days, right? So, and that's a good 2 days, in my opinion, is a good way to make progress at a consistent rate.
Definitely. I can attest to that as an adult as well. But Will, thank you so much for your time, and we'll have you again in the future.
Yes, thank you very much. It was fun being here.
And that will do it for this episode of the Kyle Life Podcast. If you'd like more information on Dojo Kyle, check out their website at dojokyle.net or go give them a visit at 111 South Main Street, right there across from the gazebo in downtown Kyle. For KyleLife.com and the Pearl Media Network, I'm Joshua Stubing. Thank you for listening.